People are drawn to Alaska for the same reason we're drawn to the stars. To experience the raw, unfiltered grandeur of the natural world, and to find a piece of ourselves in its wild expanse. John Muir. With a moving average of 53 miles per hour, seeing sunsets from 8:30 to 12:45, traveling through 5 states and provinces, 3 time zones, crossing international borders 6 times, covering 6,357 miles. We did all of this in 2 weeks. Amanda got off work on Friday, made our way up to Squamish, which is just north of Vancouver. That was a perfect place to set up for the night. Went through Whistler in the morning. We're now in the Caribou Basin, making our way north. We stopped at Quetzal Lake. We were heading to Hyder, Alaska. We've arrived at Vanderhoof, British Columbia. That is in the nation of Canada. We're headed to Timmy Hortons because it's the only thing in town other than McDonald's. Never thought that I would wish for a Starbucks. I'm there, so we'll see. Well, Timmy Hortons, you got the best of me. I'm willing to eat crow when I need to. Not all Tim Hortons are created equal. That's what I've learned. This one here in Vanderhoof, 10 out of 10, do recommend. Highway 37A on the way to Hyder, Alaska, our very first glacier of the trip. All of us were stopped in our tracks. That's a glacier behind me. There's a gigantic glacier right there, and we get to camp right next to it. We're all really tired. We do not feel like cooking tonight, so we're just gonna make some peak refuels. Normally we are total trail foodies, but it's just not gonna work for today. How's the cheesy chicken broccoli?
Pretty fantastic.
How's the chicken pesto?
Great.
Nice day outside. Packing up camp was fun. My fingers are they're numb. Depending on what clock you look at, it's somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. Maybe we're on time for our special surprise today. Maybe we're not, but we're gonna head on down the road. Got to go to the Fish Creek Wildlife Observation Site. That's my first time getting to see a grizzly bear in person. I know it's the boys and Amanda's first time as well, so super cool. We hope to see more bears on the trip, but this was an awesome stop since it was so close to Salmon Glacier right here in beautiful Hyder, Alaska. 10 out of 10, do recommend. So we just went to Caroline's Boundary Gallery, which is the only remaining gift shop here in Hyder, Alaska. She told us that she came here in the 70s first originally and has been running this shop since 2000. It's one of the few businesses left here in Hyder. Everything's for sale. The whole place is for sale. Like homes all have for sale signs, businesses have for sale signs on them. I hope that people decide to start moving away from congested, metropolitan areas and make their way into places like this, because this is just a cool little town that deserves to have cool people living in it. But if you come through, you don't really have a choice. Caroline's is the only shop in town, but be sure and stop. We got a coaster, some fudge, and a magnet. So we got some gifts to take home to grandparents.
To camp for the night. We found a cool spot that's on a river.
The Stineke River. I believe that's how it's pronounced. We're right at the mouth of the Grand Canyon of the Stineke, which we learned from one of our camp neighbors is the Mount Everest of whitewater rafting. He and 19 of his friends are going to take off down the Grand Canyon. It's going to be a 3-day excursion, and he said only the best of the paddling world will even think about attempting this. Super rad to be here. We're gonna make some dinner, have a fire, and this is the first night that we've really gotten into camp with some time to spare, so we're very excited. What's for dinner tonight?
We have some teriyaki chicken, pre-marinated from the store, so we'll see how that goes. And then we have some garden vegetable rice that we're just going to throw on. So very simple and should be pretty quick.
Give me a debrief on Canada so far.
Canada is what Washington was 150 years ago. You're driving next to massive, expansive mountains that are in a fog bank, next to like a massive flowing river. The terrain is just absolutely nuts. You can sleep next to a glacier. I love everything about it. The only thing I don't like about Canada are their units of measure and their roads. So if you're gonna go over the speed limit, you better have your wits about you and be looking all as far ahead as you can go. Otherwise you'll end up in catching air real quick. This is great. Everything's been great. And I don't care what the rest of the people on this expedition journey think. I'm, for the most part, a Tim Hortons fan. They've gotten 7 out of 10. Canada's been a thumbs up. I don't know where it gets a bad rap from in the States. This place is awesome.
Straight cruising, headed for a bruising, watching out for number 1.
We left our river spot this morning. Very excited to be hitting the Yukon territory.
Look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness.
As you might be able to guess by my head garment, the bugs are pretty bad. We're camped right next to a lake. It's a little spot that we found not far off the highway, probably a half mile. We can still hear the highway a little bit. We're excited to be in the Yukon territory. Luckily I brought a rain jacket. I didn't even think it was gonna rain all that much.
What's on the menu?
Sirloin steaks, and some Alfredo pasta. Gonna be good. Gonna be good.
How good is my Alfredo pasta?
It's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
Okay.
Hoping this rain doesn't rough up a moose or a bear to come into camp. We'll see. Good morning, guys. It's very foggy this morning. We need to get into Alaska today. So we're gonna hop on the highway and we're gonna cover some miles.
Jim, we finally entered Alaska.
I'm happy to be back in the States.
We have made it to Tuk, which is the first town in Alaska. We're very excited to be here, ready for a good meal. All in all, Alaska roads, way better than Northern Canada roads. Well, we got dinner at the diner in Tuk. Everybody's getting set up now. Dan's back there set up, the boys are making their bed. Amanda's getting our tent cleaned up. First night in Alaska, it looks like it's gonna not rain, finally, which is beautiful. Obviously, coming from Washington, we know how to camp in the rain, but it's nice to let the stuff dry out every once in a while. We'll continue on to Fairbanks tomorrow, and then we have some fun surprises. What you making, Mama?
Making some decaf coffee. Try and warm up this morning. It's nice we have a little bit of time to be able to put together some cocoa and coffee. Oh, good way to start the day.
Very nice morning today. We have Fairbanks in our sights. Everybody's getting packed up kinda. We're reorganizing as we've been on the road for about 5 days now. Everything turned into a total mess. So we had to redo a little bit of organization. Probably make some Peak Refuel granola, the perfect fast item for this morning. And then get on down the road. So we'll check in. We're almost to Fairbanks, and then from there we have 500 miles to go to Prudhoe Bay. And that is probably the most difficult portion of our trail because it's not paved, there's limited gas, and it's very remote. There's nothing really there. Thanks for coming along, guys. We found our camp spot for the night. Riverfront property. Price is just right. We had a fun time at Chena Hot Springs. Unfortunately, we couldn't film for you guys. Everybody's privacy, trying to keep that in mind. Felt amazing to swim in the hot springs and then take a bath or take a shower after so many days on the road. Gonna put some bug spray on because already getting bit. We're gonna make some dinner. Boys are gonna play in the river. We made it back to Fairbanks. We left Chena River this morning. We are headed into Fred Meyer. It's grocery day. We need enough food for about 5 days. So we're gonna head inside, get some groceries, and get on down the road. We gotta get to Prudhoe Bay in 2 days to stay on schedule. Well, we've reached the mighty Yukon River. We stopped here at this rest stop that's on the side of the Dalton, the Yukon River Contact Center. Pretty cool little spot. It's at least a good place to stop for lunch, make a sandwich, and then we'll continue on our way. We really don't know where we're going to camp yet, so we'll figure that out as we go. Arctic Circle. We've made it. We have 41 miles of fuel left and 65 miles to go to the next fuel station as far as I know. So we're going to be topping off out of our fuel cans in the back of the truck. But sounds like there's lots of really cool primitive campsites along the highway here. One of the BLM volunteers told us about. So we're going to continue on now that we've stopped to see the Arctic Circle sign. I love those EPA authorized fuel fillers. My least favorite thing.
Lake, and they have a sign here that says that 2,000 to 3,000 years ago the native hunters stopped here to take in the view, so they would hunt caribou and moose. Pretty cool stuff. It looks like moose country.
We're gonna make dinner at Grayling Lake, and then because there's so much light, we're just gonna continue driving. We've made it to Coldfoot. We're gonna stop to get gas. I knew it got expensive, but apparently it gets really expensive. Yeah, that's $7.50 a gallon. Wow. How do you feel about that, Mr. Dan?
Wow. Is that better than Europe? I mean Canada that we drove through?
Yeah, by 50 cents.
Okay, then I won't complain.
Made it to a beautiful spot. Yeah, we were driving by, kind of looking haphazardly for a camp. We were just saying, hey, we should try and find a spot. Here we are. This beautiful beach spot was available. We got the Yukon River. We got the Brooks Range Mountains all around us. I can't think of a better place to stop. Yeah, totally worth it. It is what it is. It's all part of the adventure.